back, everybody, to Mish Mash Men, or M Cubed. Today, you're here with me, Dustin Labar. To my direct and immediate left is Mr. Adam Mauser.
How do you do?
And off camera, as like last week, we have Abby the intern. She just waved.
It was a friendly wave.
It was a very nice wave. It was a very, one of the probably top 5 waves I've ever seen on a podcast. So good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hopefully you guys went and watched some serial killers, or not doing it, but like some true crime or some documentaries on serial killers or something, just because we sparked your interest. That was a fun thing to talk about.
Yeah.
I haven't got a chance to watch it since we talked about it. I haven't had a lot of time.
It's been 6 days, Dustin.
I know. I just didn't have the time.
Yeah.
But I'll get to it.
Okay.
Today, and we'd like to thank you guys for being back.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Today, I'll tell you why, but we're going to talk about iPhones. And so I'm going to tell you why, because I'm getting the new iPhone.
Are these the phones that, like, if we text each other, but then someone that has a non-iPhone gets in the text thread, they ruin the whole...
Don't you hate that?
Oh,
I'm getting an iPhone.
I'm looking at you, James.
Yeah, James, you need to get a new phone. It's nonsense. It's really like, it's not even like he's like, I have a cool Samsung. He has a crappy Android device. So I get green text. None of his pictures come through. I got to send him stuff through Instagram. It's a nightmare.
Even Abby the intern with her button phone.
Yeah.
It's still an iPhone, though.
And it is an iPhone. It is
and
an iPhone.
we get the blue text.
It is the blue text. That's important. So the iMessage. So my iPhone started to crap out. So I went and ordered the iPhone 15 Pro Max.
Ooh.
And part of the reason is they gave me so much money for this phone that it didn't make any sense not to get it. It's like almost free.
So you're on a plan?
Yeah, Verizon.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but they gave me like almost the price of the iPhone Pro Max for my phone. So
Okay.
it was like it was basically like they just want you to sign another 2-year contract or whatever. But I'm not going anywhere. So, but it got me thinking how far we've come on phones in the past 10, 13,
this would be fun.
16 years.
I've got a little history with some old cell phones.
So we can start. So we're going to talk about iPhone specifically, but first, I got my first iPhone. Actually, this is a good question. Abby, when did you get your first? Abby the intern, when did you get your first cell phone, I should say?
When I was 15.
Okay, that's pretty reasonable. That's pretty reasonable.
Yeah,
It's the same one you've got.
No, I have a different one.
Yeah, that's right.
This is a newer old iPhone.
So Jen and I we would get phones, and we always buy like a refurbished phone, like an older model phone, and then because we're on a month-to-month plan.
Gotcha.
And then like we would give the kids a new phone. So when the kids get old enough, like, okay, well, they should probably have a phone if they're driving around.
That's right. Yeah.
Then we will like, oh, good. Dad or mom get a new phone. A new phone.
Yeah. So I should say that they don't really do 2-year contracts anymore. They don't do you're not like locked into Verizon for 2 years. You're renting their phone basically.
Right.
But if you have the ability to pay your phone off immediately, it's like you just cancel whenever you want or trade your phone up or whatever. So, however, I was 16 when I got my first phone, and it was Nextel.
Yeah.
Do you remember Nextel?
Yes.
Which was bought out by Sprint. No, wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, Nextel, which was bought by Sprint, and then Sprint and T-Mobile just combined. That's what happened. That's the timeline I'm looking for. But it was a flip phone, but it had the doot. So, like a walkie-talkie function.
Yeah, I hated those.
I thought I was super cool.
I'm sure they were convenient, but just like you randomly in a movie theater.
Yeah, it was.
That was my impression.
We tried. I mean, it's pretty close. That's kind of what it sounded like.
Yeah, almost.
But you could you had if somebody else had the Nextel phone, you could doot them.
Right.
So that you actually had them in the contact as a doot, and you'd be like doot.
Yeah.
So.
Is that what it was called? That's a gerund.
A gerund?
Yeah, it's a verb and a noun.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Sound, and it was
you get a doot, and it's also a doot.
Yeah.
What was your first cell phone?
So my first, we were kind of.
Abby, you ready? He's just write the message on a rock and then throw it, and that was his cell phone.
It was in a bottle, and he just threw it into the ocean.
Yeah.
So mine was called a Mayberry, and it was a piece of paper. I'm just kidding. It was a joke. But
I had a nice feathered pen, and I would write.
You kids. So we had some friends of ours got cell phones, and we thought that was the neatest thing. They were AT&T flip phones, and we looked into getting one of those. My mom and dad had like one of those like a bag phone.
Yeah, sweet.
That they carried around in a car in case they broke down. And we thought about it, and I was like, man, it's expensive. We don't want to afford it. We're cheapskates.
Yeah.
And then we were this is like 1998, 99.
Oh, wow.
We were, our friends got some phones, and we looked into it, bought them, and then we're like, we didn't activate them. We returned them because we were like, the cost, because then you start getting revealed all the costs.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I was like, no thanks.
Yeah.
I don't need this.
Yeah.
And then I got assigned in a unit in Alabama here, and so everybody and their brother had phones. They were like, now people are texting each other.
Yeah.
You know, the old-fashioned text where you had to push, like 9 3 times in order to get.
What's that called? T9 texting, something like that. Where you had to go all the way. T9. You had to like go if you wanted like Q, you'd have to go like 1 2 like the 7.
Right.
Like, boop 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 boop. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it was a Sprint. I was on a Sprint plan
Yeah.
because they had really good coverage along the highways, and we drove up to Ohio occasionally to visit family. But it was a Sprint flip phone. Loved the flip phones.
Yeah.
If I ever go revert from a non-smartphone, I'm getting a flip phone. I like it.
They're durable.
Very durable. Almost as durable as a Nokia.
Nokias are indestructible.
Man, that thing's
They'll-
you could build a house out of
Yeah,
Nokias.
they'll survive the nuclear blast.
100%.
It'll be those and cockroaches communicating with each other via the phones. So it was like a big deal. Like cell phones. So 2006, I graduated high school. So 2007 is when the first iPhone came out. So just for a time. But I had like in college, my mom got me the Motorola Razr, which was like, which was like the top dog back then. So like I was showing enough to my like, look how thin it is. It's like, cell phones got really small for a while.
I almost bought one of those because it was so cool.
I mean, they were so sweet. But then it's time. Go ahead.
So what year was that?
The Razr?
Yeah.
I probably got the Razr in 2008 or 9.
So I would have bought one, but my work started because work they provide you some folks they would provide us cell phones, and I was TDY a lot doing test piloting work, so I was always gone. So it was good to have a work cell phone. Well, they came out with they were giving us Blackberries.
Oh yeah, Blackberries. I had one of those too.
And so I'm like, I really don't need my own cell phone. So Jennifer just kept my cell phone became the house phone because we didn't have a landline. And then, and so the BlackBerry was the thing. And that was the neatest thing when the BlackBerry first came out. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I can send email on a phone. That is just the greatest thing ever. Now I loathe email beyond anything else.
Yeah.
I want to go back in time and just destroy the first machine that ever did any kind of electronic mail because it's just like a total time suck.
It is a time suck. But Blackberries were cool.
Very cool.
They were super.
Kind of a pseudo, not really a smartphone, but a more capable phone.
Yeah. You could. I had one. You could kind of search the internet almost.
Yeah, and there were some apps.
Slow. Yeah, you had the Brick Breaker. The game.
I didn't use that, but I did use. They had a pretty good map app that predicted traffic based off of cell phone pings.
Oh, that's cool. So what I thought would be fun to like, so we kind of got our cell phone information. I thought it'd be fun is how far these phones have come over the past 16 years.
You're talking all cell phones?
We can talk about all cell phones, but I'm just talking about Apple specifically.
Okay.
But we can, we sure can interject. Everything kind of came up the same way. Like one technology starts and the other, everybody else kind of jumps onto it. But so the first iPhone came out in 2007. So it was very similar to the iPod
Touch.
The iPod Touch.
Yes,
So-
I had one of those for a while.
Yep. So that was also like iPods obviously came up, and then he's like, "How about a phone?" Everybody's like, "Oh my god, I can listen to my music and make a phone call." So, if you know how many gigs of memory you have now in the new phones, do you know how many? Do you know what the base gigs are on an iPhone now at the 15?
No.
So you can't buy an iPhone 15 with lower than 256 gigabytes of RAM.
See, I was going to guess like 128.
So I think last time I got a phone, 128 was the lowest, which is more than I'll ever need.
Yeah.
But so they all the way up to 1 terabyte. But do you know? Guess what the first iPhone had? How many gigabytes?
4.
4 is correct. 4 is like, I mean, now you couldn't even. I don't even know what you do with 4.
Yeah.
You might as well throw it on the ground.
You couldn't have any apps with any kind of information
Nothing
on it.
on it,
You could make calls and maybe do some mail.
Yeah. Abby the Interns has 4.5 gigabytes, which is pretty impressive. So do you want to guess the price of the first iPhone?
I think it was hovering right around $600.
Yeah, it was $499 for the 4 gig, and then $599 for the 8 gig.
Okay.
So and that had what we were talking about. If you didn't have an iPhone in 2007, they had a button. Like if you're looking at your brand new iPhone, there's no button on the screen. It's just a touch screen. But back in the day, the home button that did all the functions was on the phone. So you clicked it and it would break.
That was the feature that Steve Jobs was like, this interface, you only got one button. That's it.
He was like, this is amazing.
And it was a really neat thing. It took a while for me to get one, you're used to the home button.
Yep.
And then when they got rid of the button, I was like, I don't know if I like this, but you get used to it.
Do you know what happened if your button broke?
You pretty much had to get a new phone.
You had to get a new phone.
Yeah.
There was a hack that there was a little thing that you could put that was like a button on the screen, and you had to you could press that button to shut your thing.
Like digitally activated.
Yeah, but that button was, if it broke, you might as well just get a new phone. That's why it was inferior technology. But back then, everybody's like, look at this button.
See, I never had a problem with my buttons breaking.
I probably pressed a button too many times.
Yeah, I wasn't, I was very ginger.
Yeah, very, very gentle with it.
Yeah.
That's good. I was not. I mean, think about it. I don't know if I didn't think I had the first iPhone. I don't think I got on the
I
iPhone.
did not.
I think my first iPhone may have been the 5. So we'll talk about that.
So iPhones, I don't know what number was. I had an iPod Touch. That was my foray into Apple products. And I also had an iPad Mini.
Okay.
And then everyone else, all my friends had iPhones.
Yep.
And I was like, I don't know, I don't need that. And then I still had my BlackBerry for work. That was my phone.
Yeah.
And then I was up at this MBA program up at UT, and everybody and their brother had iPhones or smartphones.
Yeah.
And I was like the one stooge up there that didn't have any kind of phone. I had an Apple MacBook Air.
Yeah.
And an iPod Touch. They're like, why don't you just get the phone?
Yeah.
So you can actually make a call with it.
You're like, no. I'd rather have 3 things.
And then they had this cool, that's where I got introduced to Uber.
Oh,
and
yeah,
we're calling Ubers when we're going around because we go to different cities or a different city for one of our things. And I was like, man, that is really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So this is where I think it starts getting funny. So the iPhone came out. Then the next iteration of the iPhone was the iPhone, not 2, 3G.
Oh, yeah.
So it was 3G. The iPhone, then the iPhone 3G. So as I was scrolling through this list, I was like, I never thought that there was never a 2.
Yeah. I wonder why they did that.
iPhone, because 3G was like the service.
Right.
So it was like 3G. So they probably just like iPhone 3G. We'll just go up every G that they get. But it didn't work out that way because obviously the Gs didn't expand as quickly as they thought, I believe.
Clearly. Because we're only up to 5 and we're on 15.
Yeah, that's right. So that came out a year later. These were apparently a lot cheaper, $200 and $300. Which is way better.
It is a lot better.
Yeah, it's a lot better. Then you had the 3GS. These are just things that were updating.
Wonder when the Samsung, or what was the first competitor? It wasn't Samsung to the iPhone smartphone.
I feel like when people were getting iPhones, I got, shoot.
Was it the Google one?
No. Google came
Android.
later. Android, yeah.
Yeah.
But no. Android's the operating system. Android's not like a phone you can buy.
No, but somebody produced a phone that used the Android operating system.
Yeah, I think it might have been Samsung.
And then it could have been. Yeah. And then it might have been why they said, okay.
Yeah,
they had some good competition.
Yeah, that's right. That makes sense. Because I got a Samsung phone, like my first smartphone, and it was like between that and the iPhone, and I was kind of like I'm not getting an iPhone because everybody else has one. But they were so far superior that I should have just done it. But it's okay. It's fine. Then you had, so obviously you remember how cell phone cameras were.
Yeah.
So pretty bad. It was 1 pixel. So this is when we start getting pretty good phone cameras. So the iPhone 4, that's when you start getting FaceTime, which was a big deal. They start upgrading the iOS system, and that was in 2010. And then you started getting they always come out with these different versions of the same phone. So they came out with the 4, and then this is what makes me mad about Apple. But they don't really do it a lot now, but they were like, all right, here's the 4. And everybody's like, oh, we got to buy the 4. And then 6 months later, they're like, here's the 4S. And everybody's like, dang it. I just bought the 4.
It's got a lot more features on it than just the 4.
It's way better. And then people are like, well, I got to trash this. So the 4 actually had 16 gigs and 32 gigs. So it jumped a huge percentage. It jumped a huge bit. The 4S came out. It had more. It got all the way up to 64 gigabytes. Now we're starting to get into my forte, the 5.
Yeah,
that's when I started to get an iPhone. Abby, the intern, what's your phone again?
It's an iPhone SE, so it has the body of a 7, but I think like that everything else about it is supposed to be like an iPhone X,
which is a 10.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, they did that. That's right. Okay, so we're not there yet.
What year was the one that you're getting ready to talk about?
2012. So this is the iPhone 5, and that's 2012.
Yeah, I still haven't got an iPhone up at this point.
You're still rocking the BlackBerry?
The BlackBerry.
Okay,
yep.
BlackBerry.
Killing it.
Crushing it, just sending emails.
Like an OG.
Like an OG. Then this is where it starts getting like, I think I got the 5S. They came out with the 5S and the 5C. Now we're talking about like different screen sizes and like, you're getting like in the nitty gritty. But my favorite, this is when we got back into it, the iPhone 6, but then the iPhone 6 Plus.
Was that the bigger size?
The way bigger one. It was
I remember that.
I
remember thinking that was so funny.
They were like, it's so big it won't fit in your pocket. And everybody's like, well, that's a terrible idea.
It's basically a small iPad.
Yeah, that's right. But they came out, and this happened to me. They came out, and people were putting them in their pockets, in their back pockets.
Right.
And when they would lean over or something, it was so
bend
big,
them, right?
It would break the screen.
Yeah.
So Apple was like, so they were like, hey, don't put them in your pockets.
Yeah.
But everybody's like, but how do you want me to carry it like this the whole time? They're like, or you can get one of these cool little fancy.
We'll sell you some kind of cool thing, like a lanyard.
Yeah, you can
hanging around your neck.
Have it around your neck. It'll show people how much money you have. Yeah, it'll be awesome.
Or maybe the runners with the iPhone on their armband.
Hello?
You could put a clip on there, like a guy, and get some New Balance 520s.
And my dad used to have one of those clips on his phone. I was like, stop doing that.
Tuck in your T-shirt and your shorts.
It was like a quick draw. Like,
yeah.
Hello?
Hang on a second. Someone's calling me.
Yes. Hold on. My pants are ringing. Then the 6S and the 6 Plus, and then they curved it. So iPhones had like square edges.
Right.
And now we're talking like the 7 and the 7 Plus. We're starting to get into like better cameras, like pretty crazy stuff. And I think this is the one, and maybe it's the 8. But at some point, so we can talk about this too. At some point, they switched the charging cables from the original plug to the lightning cable.
Yeah.
Which everybody was, furious about.
Yeah.
So because the lightning plug only works for Apple stuff.
Right.
And at that point, it was really just like maybe iPads and iPhones.
Yeah.
So everybody, it's like, and then they stopped putting in the audio jack.
Yes.
Which was a big deal. So
that was a big deal.
You had to buy headphones that had the lightning port.
Or get a dongle.
Or dongle, yeah.
You had to introduce that word.
Yep. Yeah,
it's the dumbest word ever.
It's a pretty great word. Yeah. Dongle's a pretty great word. But you had to get the dongle, or you started getting wireless headphones later, like the iPod. AirPods, which I have. I use all the time. So fast forward, now we're getting to the iPhone X. So every year it gets better and better. So the screens are bigger. It gets farther to the edge. There's no like black outline. You know how like there's like a black outline, your screen's way smaller. And you start getting up into like higher gigabytes. So the X there's a huge jump in price. Starts at $1,000, and it was 64 gigs at the starting one.
Right.
And then for $1,100, you can get the 256 gigabyte, which it was the most expensive iPhone. So they literally test every year to see how much people will pay.
Oh, yeah.
That's literally what they're doing. They're like, will you pay this much? And then everybody's like, yeah. Well, let me just tell you what happened. You just made the starting price of the next phone that price of the most expensive phone.
Over how much capability?
Yeah, the tiniest little bit. So, but I can't say anything. I buy it because I'm like, it's only, what am I going to do? Am I going to have a poor iPhone 15? No, I gotta have the Max.
A phone with a button on it?
Yeah. What am I gonna do? Be pressing a button all day? No, I don't have time for that. Plug in headphone jacks?
I'm efficient.
I'm efficient. Yeah. Everything is perfect. So now we'll get to that. They have retinal displays, and they start coming up with Touch ID, which is I never used. I don't know why. I'm not even as big of a conspiracy guy as you are, but when they were like, give me your thumbprint, I was like, I don't think so, Apple. Like
I love that.
I was like, nobody's getting my
that in the face thing. I've heard some people like, oh, I don't like that, but they have your face anyway.
Yeah, well, I was.
The camera is always operating, whether you know it is or not.
It's definitely like, Laura would cover our Facebook portal.
Yeah.
With a thing, she's like, it's always on. It creeps me out.
They sell a nice little aftermarket cover for the camera that faces
The portal
you,
on the portal, or for your phone.
for your phone.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's just a little slide. It just obfuscates it's kind of this little screen screen cover. It's kind of neat.
I mean, they don't want to see what I'm doing anyway. It's stupid.
I don't care what they see.
Yeah, I don't do anything cool. It's just me yelling in my truck all day and being angry. So if they want to see that, I guess they can see it. So then we have the XR, the XS, XS. Golly, that's hard. XS Max. Say that.
What XS Max?
Oh, nice.
What was the well? And speaking of which, Resonance voiceover work if you need it.
Oh, sorry, I should have said something earlier.
I'm just kidding. So, what do those initials mean?
Whatever you're about to say it as Morgan Freeman.
I got to warm up.
Okay, sorry.
My friend Andy Dufresne.
The X is the 10. Max is the size.
Right.
The S is probably like stupid or.
Well, what was your iPhone? What S?
It's the iPhone SE.
SE.
It's designed to be like a cheaper iPhone, so I bought it new for like $400.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, these names, the marketing guys come up with the names.
Yeah.
It's not the tech guys. In fact, for cars, I remember hearing this guy give this spiel. He was a guy that worked for Cadillac rather, and he was talking. He's like a marketing guy.
Yeah.
And the letters for their cars are absolutely meaningless. Mm-hmm. It's just what sounds cool.
Nonsense.
XSR.
Yeah.
The new XSR from GMC.
Well, I know like immediately when they're like I just went and bought my phone and they're like, do you want the Pro or the Pro Max? And I was like, what do you think I want? Give me the Max. Like, what's better about it? I don't even know.
How many times have you heard me say 100%? Yeah. Of course I want the Pro Max.
You think I walked in here looking for just a Pro? Is it really a Pro if it's not the Max? So, I mean, it definitely triggers people. They're like, what? The Max? I mean, I literally never use 90% of the functions that phone can do.
Right.
But I was like, I got to have it.
Yeah.
It's basically free. With this trade-in, I can't, how could I pass it up? Laura's like, you're an idiot. iPhone 11 I had. So I like to upgrade. I'm a tech nerd. I like to have the new stuff. I just like it. I didn't upgrade.
I am too, but I wait. I just wait.
Yeah. I like to have it when it's new, and I like the 15 can do 3D videos, which means nothing now.
3D videos.
So it takes videos that will be in 3D, but you basically can't use them until you buy Apple's thing.
You got it. But that virtual reality thing.
Yeah, the virtual reality thing. But Andrew actually made one good point. So this is the one good point that Andrew's ever made.
I'm going to write this down.
So he said to me, he hit the tearjerker button is what he did. So he said, you can take 3D videos. And I was like, but I don't have anywhere to watch them, so it's useless. That headset is so expensive. And he said, yeah, but it won't be eventually. And wouldn't it be cool to have 3D videos of Finley and when she's a baby? And I was like, oh, you're right. I would love to have 3D videos of my baby. You nailed it. So that's one of the reasons I went with the 15 versus the 14 is so I could see 3D videos.
I need to start selling stuff because I have found a customer.
Andrew or me?
You.
Oh, if you put Pro, Max, like gold, like I'll buy it.
Plus.
If you say platinum, I'm in. Like there's 1,000% chance I'm buying what you're selling. And you can even trick me. You'd be like, you want this buzzer? And I'll be like, not really. You want the buzzer platinum? I'll be like, yeah, I do want the buzzer.
It's the Pro Max Platinum Plus buzzer.
Yeah, give it to me. How much is it? And you're like, it's only $500 more than the other one. I'll be like, give it to me. Yeah, I need it.
I'll put you on a payment plan. Don't worry about it.
No, I'd buy it in cash. The 12, this is when we started to get into the computers. So this is where you started seeing the Pro. I think even the last one. Yeah, the Pro was like MacBook Pro. So it had like a bunch more features.
Yeah.
And so this is where you started seeing the phone have the capabilities to do a lot of things that the computer could do, like editing. If you're like big social media person, like a big presence, and you like edit a lot of videos. Yeah.
Abby the intern.
Yeah, she probably needs to get a Pro. I got you. No, I don't mean that.
I just heard. What I heard was
I will talk your dad into buying it for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I'll start next week because he'll remember it too much right now. I'll trick him into it next week. I'm like, you know what she needs to edit these videos is a Pro Max phone, gold, silver, platinum edition. They got the best editing software known to man. The aliens use it to edit it.
That's right, the aliens. It's alien technology.
Yep. So it is alien technology. from another planet.
That's right.
So
It's not from Mexico.
this is my. It's not. No, it's. This is my favorite part. So they came out with like the Pro and the Pro Max, and they're like, it's gigantic, and they're like, how about the Mini? So they have like now they have 3 different size phones. They have like the 13, the 13 Pro, the 13 Pro Max, and then the 13 Mini.
Who do you think they're marketing the Mini to?
Well, I think it's. I really don't know. I can't even guess. Small people?
I'd say kids.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense. I
Yeah.
was thinking like short people.
Yeah, which I don't like kids having phones.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, there's so much intrusion into our life anyway, the phones, and you can get like myself included sucked into social media very easily. It's designed to suck us in.
Yeah.
In fact, Facebook initially, and I don't have this on any good authority whatsoever, but they, it was just like a series of stuff that you could post. It wasn't anything of substance, but they were trying to get advertisers.
Right.
So who did they consult with? The folks that in the gambling industry, like out of Vegas.
Gotcha.
Like, how do you get people to continue to put a quarter or a token in the machine and pull the lever? How do you do that?
Bright lights, shiny things.
And they specifically designed Facebook in order to increase their ad revenue.
Yep.
To get people to cycle through and and do all this sorts of things. So yeah,
That's why I literally never like anything on Instagram or Facebook. If you post something, I don't take it to offense. I probably like it, but I won't ever click like.
Okay.
Ever.
What about your own materials that
Will not. I will do it.
like Mish Mash Men
I'll
stuff?
do stuff for the podcast. I will do stuff for the podcast. But if you tag me in something, I won't even like it.
What if I post a picture of a very touching moment within my family of like someone graduating from some really cool school, and we're hugging, and you wouldn't even like that?
I would text you.
Okay.
I would say, hey, I really like that picture.
That's very nice.
Yeah, but I
text
won't.
me.
But I won't.
Dear Adam,
To whom it may concern.
I saw this touching photo of you. I love you
Yeah.
as a friend.
Yeah. ...
Warm regards,
Yeah.
Dustin.
Best.
Cordially.
So that now I kind of spoiled it. So the 13 and the 14 didn't have too much difference. The 15 took a big step up because it's in titanium now.
Oh yeah, titanium.
Basically indestructible.
It ain't cheap.
I don't want to get you too excited, but it's almost a gram less weight.
Really?
Yeah, a whole gram.
I might not get scoliosis now.
Yeah, well, it's not. It's definitely going to keep you more even if you have it inside your pocket. But
I always have it in my right rear pocket.
and you can do. You can obviously do crazy different videos. You can do 3D videos
3D.
now. I mean, that's kind of cool. 3D video is kind of cool.
It's definitely a novelty. It might be something that perpetuates out throughout the industry.
Yeah.
That would be of value later on.
Yep.
But I mean, yeah, I get you.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's like when you have like picture books. What do you call them? Photo albums. Golly, it's been a long time since I've done one of those.
Scrapbooks.
My God. But it's like a good memory.
Let me say this. So iPhone and Steve Jobs is a great guy at doing this, or at least when he did it. He created something that no one thought they needed.
Yeah, that's right.
Like it started off with this iPod Touch.
Yeah.
And it like, I have these different things I can do on it. And then it turned into the iPad.
Yeah.
And then he develops that into a phone. No, wait, he did the phone first and then the iPad.
That makes sense, yeah.
And then it's like one of those things you didn't know that you, quote unquote, needed until you actually, the community has it.
Yeah.
Like people have it. And then other people start making all these apps.
Right.
And that do these things that you never even thought of. Like I don't like the smartphone.
Yeah.
But by golly, it is hard to get around doing anything without, you have all these apps. Like I need to know if CVS is open right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's open on Yelp.
You don't even have to touch your phone anymore to find that out.
You just talk.
Just ask. I don't even want to say it right now because it'll start bringing it up. But you say Apple's assistant's name, and all of a sudden you can ask her whatever you want and get whatever you want immediately.
I don't have Siri on that I can call her up by command.
Okay.
And it's not because it's listening. Your phone's listening all the time anyway. The NSA can hear everything that we're talking about. But if I say, I have a daughter named Sarah. Mm-hmm. If I say, hey, Sarah, guess who comes up on my phone if I don't have it turned off? Siri does. Like, hey, Sarah, are you in the bathroom? And then Siri will be like, I'm sorry, could you say that again? Or whatever Siri says. So I just turn Siri off
Siri's
altogether.
off. So I would like, I'm going to say this right now, and hopefully Abby the intern can help us. We'll make an Instagram post, and maybe you should post your first phone in the comments.
That'll be cool.
That'd be cool. See what everybody had. And car phones don't count. I'm talking actual cell phones.
Cell phones.
Yeah, cell phone. Your first cell phone.
I have to remember what it looked like because I don't know what it was called.
And we'll try to get. I'm going to search some pictures of them too. All right.
I'll get a stack of Post-its and take a picture of that.
That's a good. Yeah, my first phone.
It's called a Mayberry.
So this is fun. I like reminiscing. So
so when are you going to get your 15?
It should be next couple days. So next time you see me, I'll probably have a brand new phone taking 3D videos.
Well, I'll be able to tell without even looking at your phone. I'll be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, you'll know that I'm cooler.
That guy, 100%.
Yeah, I'll be way cooler. I'll also have like a weird, like I'll be kind of like cocky because I have like the new phone. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. All right. Well, this has been fun. Post your phone into our comments post once this episode comes out.
Let us know if you want a leather patch cap.
Leather patch hat. Okay. This has been fun. Thank you guys for listening. Until next time, this has been Mish Mash Men.
See you next time.